Listen to me. I don't care who you are or where you're from. You can't cheat the grind. You can't fake success. You can't wish your way to greatness. You have to work your way there. Some of you want the prize, but you don't want the prize. You want the reward, but not the routine. You're talking about, I want to be successful, but you don't want to get up early, stay late, and do the things that other people refuse to do. Let me tell you something. Hard work always pays off. It may not come today, it may not come tomorrow, but if you stay consistent, stay faithful, and keep grinding, the results will come. See, hard work builds character. It creates discipline. It teaches you patience. It shows you who you are when life hits you in the mouth. Everybody looks like a beast when everything's going right. But when you fail, when you lose, when it hurts, that's when your real work begins. I'm telling you right now, don't give up. Keep pushing. You've come too far to stop here. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. While you're sleeping, someone else is grinding. While you're complaining, someone else is building their dream. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. There's no such thing. Work where you are, with what you have, and do it like your life depends on it. Because it does. You can't out-talk hard work. You can't out-dream it. You can't out-pray it. You've got to outwork everybody in the room. Because the truth is, the grind will never betray you. So remember this. You might not be the smartest. You might not be the most talented. But if you're willing to work harder than everyone else, you'll win. Because hard work always pays off. You can't cheat the grind. Let me say that again. Because it's the truth that separates dreamers from doers, talkers from achievers. You can't cheat the grind. Every single person who ever reached the top, whoever broke through the limits, whoever changed their life, they didn't skip the struggle. They didn't find a shortcut. They didn't pray for less pain. They trained for more endurance. The grind doesn't lie. The grind doesn't care about your excuses, your background, or your intentions. It only responds to effort. See, too many people want success without sacrifice. They want to look successful without living successful. They want the title without the time, the reward without the work. They want to post like they're winning before they've earned it. And that's the problem. You can fake confidence, you can fake status, but you can't fake hard work. The grind exposes the pretenders and rewards the believers. It knows who's putting in the hours when no one's watching. It knows who's sweating, who's pushing, who's showing up even when it's painful. You can't trick it, you can't hack it. The grind remembers everything. I know you want it fast. I know you want it now. We live in a world that sells speed, quick results, instant success, overnight fame. But success doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time. It happens after thousands of repetitions, after late nights and early mornings, after you failed and stood back up again. The grind is the test of time. Time. It separates the ones who truly want it from the ones who just want to say they want it. Because everybody says they want it until it's time to do what it takes. You can't cheat the grind because the grind demands honesty. It demands that you give it everything. It doesn't care about your intentions. It only cares about your investment. You can't lie to it. You can't show up halfway and expect full results. You can't put in 50% effort and expect 100% reward. The grind knows the difference between pretending and performing. It knows the difference between talking about work and actually working. Let me be real with you. When you see someone winning, you might think it was luck. You might think they just got the right opportunity, the right connection, the right timing. But if you look closer, you'll find one common factor: work. Endless, consistent, unglamorous work. While everyone else was relaxing, they were preparing. While others were sleeping, they were studying. While others were complaining, they were creating. You can't cheat your way into that kind of success. The grind won't allow it. You can't fake results. You can't Photoshop your performance. You can post all you want about your goals, your journey, but when it's time to deliver, the grind will show who's real. Because when the lights go out, when the cameras are off, when there's no audience cheering you on, that's when the truth shows up. That's when the grind separates you from the rest. The ones who work for it don't panic when pressure hits. They're ready because they've been through the fire. The ones who cheated, who skipped the process, who wanted it easy, they crumble. You can't cheat the grind because the grind builds character. It builds you from the inside out. Every repetition, every failure, every tear, every sleepless night, It's carving something inside you that can't be bought. That's why people who truly work for their dreams carry a different kind of energy. You can feel it when they talk. You can see it in their eyes. They've been through something. They didn't download their success. They developed it. They didn't find a shortcut. They took the long road, and that's why they're strong enough to stay there once they arrive. When you try to cheat the grind, you're really cheating yourself. You're robbing yourself of growth, of strength, of the lessons that failure teaches you. Every time you skip a step, you lose a piece of the wisdom you were supposed to gain. Every time you avoid the hard parts, you lose the muscle you were supposed to build. You can't build greatness without resistance. You can't grow without struggle. You can't earn respect without work. The grind is like gravity. It's always there, pulling you down, testing your will to rise. It doesn't care how you feel. It only cares how much you're willing to fight back. Some days you'll be tired. Some days you'll doubt yourself. Some days you'll wonder if it's even worth it. But those are the days that count the most. Because if you keep showing up when it's hard, you'll start to see what you're made of. And once you find that out, once you see your own power, you'll realize the grind wasn't your enemy. It was your greatest teacher. I've seen people quit right before their breakthrough. They gave up because it got uncomfortable. They wanted success, but they didn't want to hurt for it. They wanted the trophy, but not the training. Listen to me. The grind is not meant to break you. It's meant to build you. Every delay, every setback, every moment of doubt is shaping you for what's coming. You can't cheat that process. If you skip it, you skip the growth. If you skip the work, you skip the wisdom. When you put in the hours, when you grind for real, the results might not show up immediately, but they're coming. The universe has a way of rewarding those who refuse to quit. Every late night is recorded. Every early morning is noted. Every sacrifice is stored up, waiting for the right moment to release its reward. You just have to stay patient and trust the grind. There's a quote I live by. If you cheat in practice, you'll cheat in the game. And if you cheat in the game, life will expose you. You can't cut corners and expect to last. The grind knows your habits. It knows how you train when no one's watching. It knows whether you gave 100% or held back. You can't trick it with talent. You can't with talent. You can't replace it with talk. The only thing that satisfies the grind is consistency. And don't get it twisted. The grind isn't glamorous. It's not fun all the time. It's not something people celebrate. The grind is lonely. It's quiet. It's filled with moments of doubt, frustration, and fatigue. But that's what makes it sacred. Because while everyone else is chasing comfort, you're building something eternal. Discipline, resilience, mastery. And those things will take you further than talent ever could. You see, when you really give yourself to the grind, something changes inside you. You stop fearing failure, you understand it's part of the process. You stop comparing yourself to others because you know everyone's journey is different. You stop needing validation because the grind gives you confidence that no one can take away. You realize that the work itself is the reward. You can't cheat the grind because the grind is honest. It gives back exactly what you give it. If you give it excuses, it gives you regret. If you give it laziness, it gives you mediocrity. But if you give it your heart, your focus, your persistence, it gives you everything. Not just success, but self-respect. Not just money, but meaning. Not just recognition. So if you're tired of being average, stop trying to find shortcuts. If you want to be great, stop looking for easy. These have never made anyone legendary. Every great story you've ever heard, it was built on hard work. Every hero you admire, they paid a price. And if you want your name to mean something, you'll have to pay yours too. That's how it works. Don't run from the grind. Embrace it. Respect it. Let it mold you. Let it stretch you. Because when you come out the other side, you won't just have what you wanted. You'll have become who you were meant to be. The grind is not your punishment. It's your path. And the only ones who fail are the ones who try to cheat it. So when you wake up tomorrow, remember this. You can't cheat the grind. The grind is watching. The grind is waiting. The grind knows. Every rep, every step, every moment you push through, it counts. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day you'll look back and realize it all added up. You'll see that every ounce of effort, every sacrifice, every drop of sweat, it was worth it. Because hard work doesn't lie. The grind doesn't forget. And one day when you finally arrive, you'll know deep down, you earned it. The process over the prize. That's where the real magic happens. Everybody wants the prize. Everybody wants the glory, the applause, the recognition, the title, the success. But very few people fall in love with the process. And that's why most people never reach the top. You see, the prize is easy to desire. It's beautiful, shiny, inspiring. Stay in result, the part everybody sees. But the process, that's the part no one celebrates. That's the part that hurts. The process is the grind, the discipline, the consistency, the early morning, the late nights, the moments of doubt. It's where character is built, where your faith is tested, and where your future is formed. Let me tell you something. The process is the price of greatness. You can't skip it. You can't replace it. You can't negotiate your way around it. Every champion, every successful person, every leader you've ever admired, they pay for their success through the process. They learned to love it. They didn't just work for the outcome. They worked to master the journey. Because when you learn to love the process, the prize will chase you. Most people fail not because they lack talent, but because they hate the process. They want to win without the waiting. They want the blessing without the burden. They want the reward without the repetition. But that's not how life works. You can't plant a seed and eat the fruit the same day. Growth takes time. Progress takes patience. And only those who are willing to water their dreams every single day, even when they don't see results, will one day harvest the reward. The process is uncomfortable. It's supposed to be. Growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from struggle. When you push through challenges, when you fight your weaknesses, when you show up even when you don't feel like it, that's when transformation happens. That's when you start to become the person who can handle the prize. See, if you skip the process, even if someone handed you success, you wouldn't be ready for it. You wouldn't know how to maintain it, how to manage it, how to multiply it. The process prepares you for the prize. The problem is most people are addicted to results. They want everything fast. They're chasing likes, followers, money, attention, instant gratification. But real success doesn't come from a microwave. It comes from a slow cooker. It takes time to build something that lasts. The process shapes you while you're waiting. It teaches you patience, humility, discipline, and resilience. It teaches you to depend not on emotion, but on effort. And that's what separates the average from the elite. The elite love the process. They wake up early not because someone's watching, but because they've made a promise to themselves. They don't count the hours. They make the hours count. They don't complain about the grind. They embrace it because they know it's the only way to grow. The process becomes their playground. They find joy in the repetition. They find meaning in the routine. They understand that every small step, every practice, every failure is a brick being laid toward their vision. You can't fast forward through the process. You can't avoid the days of frustration, the moments of doubt, the seasons of waiting. Every single part of the process has a purpose. The pain builds strength. The repetition builds skill. The failures build wisdom. The waiting builds faith. And when it all comes together, you become unstoppable. Not because you got lucky, but because you were faithful to the process. See, too many people quit in the middle. They start with passion, but they lose patience. They love the idea of success, but not the discipline it requires. They want to jump from the beginning to the end. But the middle, that's where champions are made. That's where you separate the committed from the curious. The middle is where most people give up, but it's also where your future begins to take shape. I'm telling you, the process is where you find your strength. It's where you discover who you really are. When everything goes wrong, when you have no support, when your plan fails, that's when the process asks, how bad do you really want it? And if you can keep going when no one's clapping, when nothing's working, when it hurts to even try, that's when you know you're built for greatness. The prize looks good, but the process feels good when you embrace it. Because the process gives you pride. It gives you ownership. It gives you a story. Anybody can receive a gift, but not everybody can build something with their own hands. When you've gone through the process, you don't just have success. You have substance. You have confidence that no one can take away because you earned it. You see, people who focus only on the prize burn out quickly. They chase the high of success, but crash when things get hard. But people who love the process, they last. They understand that even failure is a part of success. They don't cry about setbacks. They learn from them. They don't fear pain. They use it as fuel The process gives them roots so strong that when storms come, they bend but don't break. You might be in your process right now. You might be working hard and seeing no results. You might be wondering if it's even worth it. Let me remind you, the process is working even when you don't see it. Just because you don't see progress doesn't mean it's not happening. A seed doesn't show signs of life the moment it's planted. It grows underground first. The roots grow deep before the tree grows tall. That's what's happening in your life. You're building roots. You're developing strength. You're getting ready for your season. Don't quit before the harvest. The prize will come, but not before the process does its work. You can't rush greatness. You can't rush destiny. The process takes time, and that's what makes the victory meaningful. If you got everything you wanted instantly, you wouldn't appreciate it. But when you fought for it, sacrificed for it, cried for it, stayed up all night for it, when you finally get it, it means something. You'll value it, protect it, and multiply it. The process also teaches you gratitude. It reminds you that nothing is owed to you. Everything you have, you earn through persistence, and that makes you humble. That's why the best people, the real winners, don't act arrogant when they make it. They remember the struggle. They remember the days when no one believed in them. They remember how far they've come. The process keeps you grounded. And let me tell you something powerful. The process never really ends. Even when you reach one goal, there's always another level. You keep learning, keep growing, keep grinding. The process becomes a lifestyle. You realize that success is not a destination. It's a direction. It's not about reaching the top once. It's about continuing to rise, to evolve, to expand. The process is what keeps you alive, hungry, and passionate. So stop chasing the prize and start chasing progress. Stop focusing on what you'll get and focus on who you're becoming. Because at the end of the day, it's not the prize that changes your life. It's the process that transforms you. The prize is temporary, but the person you become through the process lasts. When you fall in love with the process, every day becomes a step forward. Even the bad days serve a purpose. Even the slow seasons build your strength. You stop measuring success by how fast you move and start measuring it by how faithfully you grow. You stop saying, when I make it, I'll be happy, and start saying, I'm happy because I'm making progress. That's the mindset of a true champion. So wherever you are right now, keep going, keep grinding, keep learning, don't rush it. Don't wish it away. The process is not your punishment. It's your preparation. It's building you for something bigger than you can imagine. The process is the proof that you're alive, that you're fighting, that you still believe. And if you can stay faithful to the process, the prize will take care of itself. You'll look back one day and realize the process was the best part. It wasn't just about getting to the top. It was about who you became climbing the mountain. Every scar, every lesson, every setback makes you stronger, wiser, tougher. That's what the process does. It shapes you into the kind of person who can not only reach the prize, but sustain it, multiply it, and inspire others to chase theirs. So stop waiting for the prize to validate you. You're already winning every time you choose discipline over distraction, every time you keep going when it would have been easier to quit, every time you show up and give your best. That's what greatness looks like in the making. That's the process. Silent, steady, powerful. And if you stay committed long enough, one day you'll hold the prize in your hands and smile because deep down you'll know the process was worth it all. Consistency is the currency of success. It's the one thing that separates the dreamers from the doers, the starters from the finishers, the talkers from the achievers. Anybody can start something, a new habit, a new goal, a new dream. But only a few have the strength to keep going when the excitement fades. You see, motivation will get you started, but consistency keeps you going. Motivation is a spark. Consistency is the fire that keeps burning when the wind blows. And if you truly want to be great, if you want to rise above average, you have to be consistent. Day after day, moment after moment, even when no one is watching. Success doesn't happen because you worked hard once. It doesn't happen because you had a good day, a good week, or even a good month. Success is the result of small, disciplined actions repeated over time. It's built in the moments when you feel tired but still show up, when you feel discouraged but still push through. Consistency isn't about being perfect, it's about being persistent. It's about showing up no matter how you feel, no matter what's happening around you. Because consistency tells the world that you mean business. It tells your goals that you're serious. It tells your dream that you're not here to play games. You're here to win. Everyone wants results, but very few are willing to do the same thing over and over again until it pays off. People quit too early. They stop when they don't see results fast enough. They plant a seed and dig it up every other day to see if it's growing. But growth takes time. Progress is often invisible at first. Consistency is what builds the roots before the fruit. It's what develops your foundation before the recognition comes. The ones who win are not the most talented. They're the ones who refuse to stop. You have to understand that consistency builds trust, not just with others, but with yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build self-respect. You prove to yourself that your word means something, and that's how confidence grows. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to show up over and over. Because one day, the thing that felt hard will become second nature. That's what consistency does. It turns effort into instinct. It takes something that once felt impossible and makes it automatic. But the truth is, consistency isn't glamorous. It's boring sometimes. It's repetitive. It's doing the same thing every single day, even when it doesn't look like it's working. It's waking up early when your bed feels warm. It's studying when your friends are relaxing. It's practicing when nobody's clapping for you. It's those small, quiet moments that build the loudest victories. Because greatness doesn't happen in public first. It happens in private. Behind every successful person you admire are thousands of days of consistency that no one saw. You can't rely on feelings to stay consistent. Feelings come and go. One day you feel unstoppable. The next day you feel empty. But if your actions are controlled by your feeling, you'll never make it. You have to be driven by commitment, not comfort. You have to decide that no matter how hard it gets, you're going to stay disciplined. That's what separates those who make it from those who only dream about it. Consistency is the bridge between intention and accomplishment. Some of you are talented. You've got gifts, ideas, and passion. But talent without consistency is wasted potential. Because talent might give you attention, but consistency keeps you relevant. The world is full of people who started strong but disappeared because they couldn't stay consistent. They had everything they needed to win, but they lacked endurance. You see, it's not how fast you start that matters, it's how long you can keep going when things get tough. Consistency is about the long game. It's about showing up today, tomorrow, next week, next month. Not because you feel like it, but because you said you would. It's about laying bricks every single day. Some days you'll lay one brick, some days you'll lay 5. But if you keep going, eventually you'll have a wall. And that wall will be your success, built brick by brick, day by day, action by action. People will look at your wall and call you lucky, but you'll know it wasn't luck. It was consistency. The problem with most people is that they get distracted. They want fast results. They start comparing their progress to others. They see someone else winning and start doubting their own process. But consistency requires focus. You can't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. You have to run your own race, stay in your own lane, and trust your own pace, because consistency compounds. What feels small today will feel powerful tomorrow. Every repetition adds up. Every effort accumulates, and one day it all pays off at once. Let me be real with you. Consistency is not about perfection. You will fail. You will have bad days. You will miss opportunities, lose motivation, and make mistakes. But consistency isn't about never falling. It's about never staying down. It's about getting back up every single time, no matter how many times life knocks you down. Because success doesn't belong to the perfect. It belongs to the persistent. You don't have to be the best today. You just have to be better than you were yesterday. That's what consistency means. Small daily improvements, one step at a time, one decision at a time, one day at a time. Because when you add up those small wins, they turn into massive victories. People overestimate what they can do in a day, but underestimate what they can do in a year of consistent effort. Let's be honest. Everyone loves the idea of transformation, but no one loves the daily work it takes to get there. We want to go from zero to hero overnight. But success doesn't work like that. It's not an event. It's a process. It's built in the moments no one claps, or no one notices, no one praises. But those are the moments that matter the most. When you keep going in silence, one day your results will make the noise. Consistency is your proof of commitment. You can say you want to change. You can talk about your dreams, but if your actions don't match your words, it means nothing. Real consistency is silent. It doesn't need to announce itself. It just shows up every day, quietly, faithfully, until one day the world can't ignore it anymore. There will be days when you feel like quitting, days when nothing goes right, days when it feels like no progress is being made. But those are the days that define you. Anyone can work hard when things are easy. Real winners work hard when things are hard. Because consistency isn't built on comfort, it's built on conviction. And here's the truth. Your consistency inspires others. People are watching you even when you think they're not. Your discipline encourages others to believe that they can do it too. You become a living example that steady effort leads to real results. You show them that greatness isn't about luck. It's about longevity. If you want to change your life, start being consistent in the little things. Wake up on time. Keep your promises. Finish what you start. Train your mind to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Because success doesn't belong to those who work hard once. It belongs to those who work hard every day. Consistency builds habits, and habits shape destiny. What you do repeatedly becomes who you are. If you consistently give up, quitting becomes your identity. But if you consistently show up, winning becomes your habit. That's why you have to protect your consistency. It's your power. It's your foundation. It's your proof that you're serious about your purpose. You might not see the results immediately, but you have to trust the process. The gym doesn't show results after one workout. The business doesn't grow after one sale. The dream doesn't come alive after one attempt. It's what you do daily that defines what you get eventually. Every action is a deposit into your future. And consistency is how you build compound interest on your success. Ask yourself, are you showing up for your dream every single day? Are you being faithful when it's hard, when it's quiet, when it's unseen? Because if you're consistent long enough, people will start calling you lucky. But you'll know it wasn't luck. It was discipline. It was faithfulness. It was consistency. At the end of the day, consistency is what turns potential into power. It's what transforms ideas into impact. It's what turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. Anyone can get excited about the beginning, but it takes a warrior to stay committed through the middle. And if you can stay consistent long enough, you'll not only reach your goal, you'll become the kind of person who never stops growing. So stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for everything to feel right. Start now. Be consistent now. Because every single day you show up, you're building something. Strength, faith, skill, confidence. One day when you look back, you'll realize that the results didn't come from one big moment. They came from 1,000 small ones. The days you didn't quit, the days you didn't give up, the days you chose consistency over comfort. That's where success lives. Because consistency is and always will be the true currency of success. The fourth keynote, a discipline turns dreams into reality, is the heartbeat of success. The invisible force that bridges the gap between who and who you want to become. Hard work without discipline is like running in circles. Plenty of motion, but no real progress. Discipline is what shapes the chaos of effort into consistent, focused action. It's waking up when you don't feel like it, studying when your mind wants rest, training when your body feels sore, and staying humble when success begins to whisper your name. Discipline is the difference between a wish and a commitment, between a plan and a legacy. When we look at the most successful people in any field, athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, or leaders, the common denominator isn't just talent. It's not luck either. It's not luck either. It's discipline. Talent might open the door, but discipline keeps you inside the room. Every dream starts with excitement. It's easiest to feel motivated when you imagine your success. The motivation fades. The real test begins when that excitement wears off and all that's left is the grind. Discipline is the fuel that keeps your engine running long after motivation has dried up. It's the ability to keep doing the right thing even when no one is watching, even when you don't see immediate results. Think about it. Dreams are easy to visualize. Everyone dreams, but not everyone is willing to sacrifice comfort for consistency. Discipline means telling yourself no when everything inside you screams yes. It means controlling your impulses, your distractions, and your emotions. When your alarm goes off at 5 a.m., it's discipline that pulls you out of bed. When others are out having fun, you're still at the desk working on your craft. That's discipline. It's not glamorous, and it's rarely celebrated, but it's what builds greatness brick by brick. Every hour of practice, every page read, every workout completed, it all compounds over time. Discipline multiplies effort. It turns small actions into unstoppable momentum. Eric Thomas often says, you don't get what you want, you get what you work for. But I'll take it further. You get what you stay disciplined for. Because working hard one day and quitting the next won't build your dream. Success demands repetition. It demands showing up day after day with the same intensity, even when progress feels invisible. Discipline teaches patience, and patience creates mastery. You can't rush greatness. You can't shortcut consistency. The world rewards those who are willing to keep walking even when the path feels endless. Discipline also means mastering your mind. The greatest battles are not fought on fields or in boardrooms. They're fought in silence, in your head, when doubt creeps in and whispers that you should give up. Discipline silences that voice. It says, no matter what we move, it doesn't allow emotions to dictate effort. There will be days when you feel tired, when nothing seems to work, when every part of you wants to quit. Discipline is the voice that said, keep going. It's the quiet strength that reminds you that storms don't last forever, but quitting lasts a lifetime. In a world that rewards instant gratification, discipline has become rare, and that's why it's so powerful. Everyone wants quick success, fast results, and overnight fame. But real success doesn't come that way. Real success is built on delayed gratification, the willingness to endure now for a reward later. It's about doing what's necessary, even when it's not immediately rewarding. Discipline said, I'll work today so that I can shine tomorrow. And when tomorrow comes, the world calls it talent. Well, you'll know it was discipline all along. Discipline is also about integrity. It's doing the right thing even when no one will ever know. It's holding yourself to a standard higher than what others expect from you. It's being loyal to your goals even when nobody believes in you. Many people lose focus. They work hard when others are watching, but slow down when the spotlight fades. That's not discipline. That's performance. Discipline is private excellence that eventually becomes public success. The hours you spend alone, training, studying, improving, those are the seeds of your future harvest. Let's take an example from sports. Look at Kobe Bryant. His nickname wasn't the black man, but just because of his talent. It was because of his work ethic and discipline. He was known to practice at 4 a.m., long before his teammates even arrived. He didn't rely on motivation. He relied on routine. He understood that discipline would outlast emotion. Every shot he took in practice, every drill he repeated thousands of times, it all came from discipline. When he said, I never get bored with basics, that was his philosophy. Discipline made him legendary. And that same principle applies to every dreamer. Whether you're an athlete, a student, or a creator, discipline is not punishment, it's protection. It protects your time, your focus, and your potential. Without it, distractions will steal your dreams. The internet, social media, negative people, these are thieves of focus. Discipline builds a wall around your purpose. It helps you say a no to things that don't align with your vision. Every no to distraction is a yes to your destiny. When you train your mind to stay locked in, nothing can derail you. The world may change, people may doubt you, but discipline keeps you rooted. It keeps you centered when everything else feels uncertain. And here's the truth. Discipline hurts. It demands sacrifice. It means missing out sometimes, being uncomfortable and pushing through fatigue. But that pain is temporary. The pride of discipline lasts forever. When you finally achieve your dream, you'll realize that every early morning, every lonely night, every moment of self-control was worth it. Because discipline doesn't just build success, it builds character. It teaches you self-respect. When you keep your promises to yourself, you build trust in your own strength, and that's priceless. The road to success isn't paved with comfort, it's paved with discipline. You can have the biggest dream in the world, but without discipline, it remains a fantasy. Dreams require structure. They require daily commitment, small steps taken with relentless focus. Discipline gives direction to your ambition. It keeps your vision alive through consistency. It transforms you from someone who hopes into someone who achieves. So ask yourself today, are you disciplined enough to chase your dream, even when it's hard? Are you willing to sacrifice temporary pleasure for long-term fulfillment? Because discipline doesn't just happen. It's built day by day through the choices you make. Every time you push yourself to keep going, you strengthen that muscle. Every act of discipline makes the next one easier. Soon, what once felt hard becomes your new normal. And that's how dreams become reality, not through luck, but through the steady power of discipline. When you live with discipline, you stop waiting for opportunities. You create them. You stop depending on others to motivate you. You become your own fire. You don't need validation because your consistency becomes your proof. You don't chase success. You attract it through daily excellence. Discipline makes you unstoppable because it builds habits that define greatness. And once you master yourself, there's nothing the world can do to stop you. At the end of the day, success is not a mystery. It's a result. It's the harvest of disciplined seeds planted over time. So don't wait for the right moment, the perfect mood, or someone to push you. Be your own driver. Keep showing up, keep moving forward. Because when you stay disciplined, every single day brings you one step closer to your dream. And one day, when you finally hold that dream in your hands, you'll know it wasn't luck, it wasn't chance. It was discipline that turned your dream into reality. A sacrifice is the foundation of greatness, captures one of the hardest truths of success. Nothing extraordinary is ever achieved without giving up something valuable. Sacrifice is the currency of greatness, and everyone who has ever reached the top has paid their price in full. Whether it's time, comfort, sleep, relationships, or immediate pleasure, sacrifice is the invisible tax that must be paid before destiny opens its doors. Most people dream of success, but very few are willing to sacrifice for it. They want the reward without the struggle, the glory without the grind, the victory without the battle. But success doesn't work that way. Every step toward greatness demands something in return. You have to give up what's holding you back to make space for what you're meant to become. When you study the lives of those who achieve something remarkable, you'll find that every story begins with sacrifice. Look at Eric Thomas himself. He was homeless, sleeping on the streets, taking showers in public restrooms. But he sacrificed comfort because he believed in a vision bigger than his pain. That's what separates dreamers from doers. The dreamer wants results without discomfort. The doer embraces sacrifice because they know every hardship brings them one step closer to greatness. Sacrifice is never easy. It's supposed to hurt. It's supposed to test your commitment. But that pain you feel when you sacrifice is the evidence that you're growing beyond who you used to be. People often ask, why can't I have it all? The truth is you can't chase comfort and greatness at the same time. One will always kill the other. You can either be comfortable or be legendary, but you can't be both. Comfort is the enemy of progress. The moment you choose comfort, you stop growing. Sacrifice demands that you walk away from the easy path and take the one filled with resistance, uncertainty, and struggle. It's the decision to say no to short-term pleasure so you can experience long-term success. The world will never hand you success. You have to earn it through what you're willing to give up. Sacrifice teaches discipline, patience, and focus. When you decide to give up what you want now for what you want most, you begin to understand what true maturity looks like. It's not about saying yes to everything that feels good. It's about saying a no to everything that distracts you from your mission. It might mean missing parties, losing friends, if we don't share your vision, waking up before dawn, or working long after everyone else has gone to sleep. Those sacrifices isolate you, but they also refine you. They strip away the noise and make you sharper, hungrier, and more determined. Greatness demands separation. Separation from distraction, from mediocrity, and from excuses. Sacrifice also tests your faith. When you're in the middle of it, when you've given up everything and the results still haven't come, it feels lonely. You start questioning yourself. You wonder if it's worth it. But that's when true champions are made. Sacrifice is not just about what you give up. It's about what you hold on to when times get tough. It's about holding on to your dream when nothing around you supports it. It's about believing in the process when you don't yet see the promise. Those who can enjoy that phase, the dark season where sacrifices feel like losses, eventually reach the light. Every sacrifice has a return, but the return only comes to those who don't quit halfway. Think of the sacrifices made by athletes like Michael Jordan, Serena Williams, or Muhammad Ali. Their greatness didn't come from talent alone. It came from the years of relentless training, from missing family gatherings, from saying no to temptation that could have derailed their focus. Ali once said, "Why hate it every minute of training?" But I said, "Don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion." That's the essence of sacrifice. Temporary pain for permanent glory. You must be willing to hurt now so that you can live with pride later. Those who aren't willing to suffer for success will eventually suffer from regret. Sacrifice is also the filter of purpose. When you're forced to give something up, it makes you question how badly you really want it. If you're not willing to sacrifice for your dream, it means you never truly believed in it. Real passion demands a price. You can't say you love your dream if you're not willing to bleed for it. And that's what separates the great from the average. The great don't just want it. They're willing to lose everything for it. They understand that to gain something extraordinary, something ordinary must be left behind. Sometimes sacrifice isn't about physical things. It's about letting go of the old version of yourself. The habits that keep you comfortable, the mindset that limits your vision, the fears that hold you back. All of these must be sacrificed for growth. You can't reach the next level if you're still carrying the weight of your past. Sacrifice means dying to who you were so you can be reborn into who you're meant to be. It's not easy to outgrow your old self, but it's necessary if you want to reach your highest potential. Sacrifice also builds resilience. When you give up things for a purpose, it teaches you to endure hardship with strength. You stop fearing pain because you've already faced it. You stop avoiding struggle because you know struggle is the path. Every sacrifice you make becomes a lesson. Every loss a stepping stone. You learn to be grateful even in difficulty. You understand that the price you're paying is building the person you need to become. Sacrifice is not punishment, it's preparation. It prepares you to handle success when it finally arrives. Without sacrifice, you might get success, but you won't be able to sustain it. The truth is, the world only sees the results. They see the medals, the money, the recognition, but they never see the years of sacrifice behind it. They don't see the sleepless nights, the moments of doubt, the things you had to give up. But that's okay, because your sacrifices are not for them. They're for your purpose. They're for the vision that only you can see. You have to be willing to pay your dues in silence while the world sleeps. And one day, the same world that ignored your struggle will celebrate your success. Eric Thomas once said, "When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful." That level of desire naturally brings sacrifice. Because when something matters that much, nothing else matters more. You'll give up everything for it, not because you have to, but because you choose to. Sacrifice turns ordinary people into extraordinary stories. It transforms your pain into purpose. It gives meaning to your struggle. So many people stop short of their goals because the price feels too high. But truth is, you're going to pay a price either way. You'll pay the price of discipline now, or you'll pay the price of regret later. The difference is that one leads to fulfillment and the other leads to pain. Greatness is expensive, but regret costs even more. Don't run from sacrifice, run toward it, because everything you want is on the other side of it. Sacrifice will not only change your circumstances, it will change you. It will teach you humility, strength, patience, and appreciation. When you fought for something, you value it more deeply. You don't take your success for granted because you know exactly what it cost. You don't look for shortcuts because you've learned that true success has none. And once you've paid your price, you become unstoppable. Nothing anyone says or does can take away what you've earned. In the end, greatness isn't defined by what you achieve, it's defined by what you were willing to give up to achieve it. Every late night, every sacrifice, every choice to keep going when it would have been easier to quit, all of it adds up to something powerful. Sacrifice is the invisible builder of destiny. It's the silent architect behind every success story. So if you want to live a life that matters, start embracing sacrifice. Stop fearing it, stop avoiding it, and stop using it. Because every time you sacrifice for your dream, you're not losing, you're investing. And when that investment matures, it will pay off in ways far greater than you can imagine. That's the truth of life. Greatness demands a price, and only those who are willing to pay will ever know how sweet it feels to hold their dream in their hands. Sacrifice now, shine later. Give up something today so that tomorrow you can become everything you are meant to be. Because in the end, sacrifice doesn't take from you. It builds you into the person capable of carrying the greatness you were born for. Consistency builds character and credibility, holds a truth that separates those who merely start from those who actually finish. In a world full of dreamers, starters, and talkers, consistency is what makes the difference. It's not about doing great things once. It's about doing small, disciplined things over and over again until they create greatness. Anyone can be motivated for a day, a week, or even a month. But the real test of greatness is not how hard you work when you feel inspired. It's how committed you remain when no one is clapping, when no one is watching, and when the results haven't shown up yet. Consistency is what transforms average effort into lasting impact. It's what builds your reputation, your habits, and ultimately your destiny. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. You can give your all for one day, but if you can't repeat it tomorrow, it won't matter. Consistency is about showing up, even when the excitement fades. It's about keeping your word to yourself, day after day when it would be easier to quit. You don't build strength by lifting weights once. You build it by showing up every day, training your body and mind to endure. You don't build trust in relationships by making one grand gesture. You build it through small, consistent acts of love, loyalty, and honesty. The same applies to your dreams. Success doesn't come from what you occasionally do, it comes from what you consistently do. The most successful people in the world don't rely on emotion to take action. They rely on consistency. Emotions are fleeting. Motivation rises and falls. But consistency is a decision. It's a promise you make to yourself that you'll keep going no matter how you feel. It's the ability to keep working when progress is invisible, to keep believing when nothing seems to change. Consistency builds character because it forces you to become disciplined. It teaches you to manage your time, your focus, and your energy. When you commit to being consistent, you train your mind to value progress over perfection, process over praise, and persistence over performance. Eric Thomas often says, everybody wants to be a beast until it's time to do a beast too. That's the essence of consistency. It's doing the work every single day, even when it's hard, boring, or inconvenient. The world is full of people who start strong but fade fast. They start a project, a workout plan, a dream, but when adversity hits, they stop. Consistency is the difference between the person who starts and the one who finishes. It's the invisible force that turns effort into excellence. You might not see results right away, but every day of consistent action compounds over time. Like a seed in the soil, progress is happening even when you can't see it. Consistency also builds credibility. When people see that you show up every day, no matter what, they begin to trust you. They know you're reliable, disciplined, and committed. Whether you're building a business, leading a team, or inspiring others, your consistency speaks louder than your words. Anyone can make promises, but only consistent action proves character. The world doesn't believe in what you say. It believes in what you do repeatedly. Credibility is not built overnight. It's earned through a pattern of dependability. When you become consistent, your reputation becomes your greatest asset. People start to associate your name with excellence, reliability, and strength. But here's the truth. Consistency is hard. It demands patience. And patience is something most people lack in a fast-paced world. We live in a generation that wants everything instantly, instant success, instant fame, instant gratification. But greatness doesn't come in an instant. It comes in increments. Every small, consistent action adds up. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you're moving closer to your goal. Consistency doesn't give you results right away, but it guarantees them in the long run. It's like water dripping on stone. Each drop seems insignificant, but over time it carves out a path. That's the quiet power of consistency. Being consistent also means being resilient. It means staying the course when things don't go your way. There will be failures, rejections, and moments of frustration. Consistency doesn't mean perfection, it means persistent. You might fall, you might slow down, but you never stop. You get back up every time because your commitment is greater than your emotions. That resilience builds inner strength. It shapes your character in ways comfort never could. Every day you stay consistent, you become mentally tougher, more focused, and more confident in your ability to endure. Consistency reveals who you are when no one's looking. When the cameras are off, when the praise is gone, when the motivation fades, what you do then defines your character. Consistent people don't need external validation because their validation comes from within. They know who they are, what they want, and what it takes to get there. They don't wait for inspiration. They create it through routine. When you live consistently, your actions become automatic. You don't waste time deciding whether to do the work. You've already decided long ago. That's where true power lies, in having habits so strong that success becomes your default response. Think about the greatest athletes, musicians, or leaders of all time. They all share one trait: consistency. Michael Jordan didn't become great because of one amazing game. He became great because he played at a high level every single day, even in practice. Beyonce didn't become a legend by performing once. She became one by rehearsing for countless hours, even when no one saw it. Warren Buffett didn't build his fortune overnight. He built it through decades of consistent, smart investing. Consistency is the thread that ties all greatness together. Consistency also builds self-trust. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your belief in your own ability. You begin to see yourself as someone who follows through, who delivers, who can be counted on. That self-trust is powerful. It becomes the foundation of confidence. When you know you can rely on yourself, you stop depending on external motivation. You stop making excuses. You stop waiting for the right time. You simply act. Consistency gives you that power because it's proof of your own reliability. However, the journey of consistency requires self-awareness. You have to know your why. Without a clear reason for what you're doing, you won't have the strength to stay consistent when things get hard. Your why gives meaning to your effort. It reminds you of what's at stake. Every time you want to quit, your why pulls you forward. Consistency without purpose leads to burnout, but consistency driven by purpose leads to greatness. So, before you commit to being consistent, make sure your purpose is strong enough to carry you through the struggle. Consistency also humbles you. It teaches you that progress is not always glamorous. Sometimes it's repetitive, quiet, and unnoticed. But that's where real growth happens. You learn to appreciate the journey instead of just chasing the destination. You begin to find joy in the process. You understand that mastery isn't about sudden breakthroughs. It's about steady improvement. Each day of consistent effort is a step toward mastery, and mastery eventually to greatness. The beauty of consistency is that it compounds. What feels small today becomes significant tomorrow. A writer who writes one page every day will have a book in a year. A person who saves a little money daily will build wealth over time. A student who studies consistently will outperform the one who crams at the last minute. The results of consistency are not visible immediately, but they are inevitable. It's like planting a tree. You don't see it grow instantly, but with daily care, it becomes unshakable. At the core, consistency is a reflection of character. It shows that you're dependable, disciplined, and determined. It tells the world that you can be trusted, not just with words, but with action. And credibility follows that kind of character. People start believing in you because they've seen you deliver again and again. Consistency becomes your identity, and credibility becomes your reward. So many people fail, not because they lack talent, but because they lack consistency. They give up too soon, expecting immediate results. But success is not a sprint. It's a marathon. It's about enduring long enough to see your efforts bear fruit. Consistency keeps you in the race long enough to win. You don't need to move fast. You just need to keep moving. Every day you show up, you're one step closer. At the end of the day, consistency is not glamorous. It's not loud. It doesn't always get attention, but it's powerful. It's the quiet, steady rhythm behind every success story. It's what transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. So don't aim to be impressive for a day. Aim to be consistent for a lifetime. Keep showing up, keep putting in the work, and keep trusting the process. Because consistency builds character, and character builds credibility. And once you have credibility, you'll have everything you need to turn your dreams into reality. The seventh keynote of failure is a lesson, not a loss, is one of the most powerful truths in life. It changes how you see your journey, how you handle pain, and how you measure success. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of it. It's the process that shapes you into the person capable of achieving greatness. Every successful person you admire has failed more times than they've succeeded. They've been rejected, embarrassed, and broken. But they refuse to let those moments define them. Instead, they let failure refine them. Failure is not the end. It's the teacher that reveals what needs to change, what needs to grow, and what needs to be strengthened. Most people run from failure. They avoid risk, they stay safe, and they never push their limits because they fear what failure might say about them. But failure doesn't mean you're not good enough. It means you're trying. It means you're in the arena while others are watching from the sideline. You can't discover your potential without falling short. You can't learn what works without finding out what doesn't. Every failure carries feedback. Every mistake teaches a lesson. The problem is not failing. Problem is failing and refusing to learn. When you embrace failure as a lesson, you remove its power to defeat you. Think about a child learning to walk. They stumble, fall, and cry, but they never stop trying. Why? Because they don't see falling as failure. They see it as part of learning. That same mindset is what successful people carry into adulthood. They understand that falling doesn't make you weak. Stand down does. Each time you fall and get back up, you grow stronger, wiser, and closer to your goal. Failure builds resilience, and resilience builds greatness. Without failure, there's no growth. Without struggle, there's no strength. The truth is, failure hurts. It crushes your ego. It challenges your confidence. It can make you question your path and your worth, but that pain is necessary. It's the birthplace of transformation. Pain is the universe's way of forcing you to pay attention. When you fail, it's not punishment. It's instruction. It's life showing you what doesn't work so you can discover what does. Every rejection, every mistake, every setback, it all carries a message if you're humble enough to listen. Failure doesn't destroy you. Denial does. When you ignore its lesson, you're doomed to repeat it. But when you face it, learn from it, and adapt, you turn failure into fuel. Eric Thomas often says you can't be afraid to fail. Failure was a part of success. That's because he understands that failure is where character is forged. You don't develop courage when everything goes right. You develop it when everything goes wrong, and you still keep moving forward. Failure strips away comfort. It exposes weakness. It forces you to evolve. And that evolution is what builds mastery. When you fail, you don't go back to zero. You go back to experience. You go back with new knowledge, new perspective, and new strength. You go back better equipped for the next challenge. Failure teaches humility. It reminds you that you're not invincible, that you still have room to grow. It keeps you grounded when success starts whispering pride into your ear. When you fail, you realize how much more there is to learn. That humility keeps your hunger alive. It stops you from becoming complacent. Many people lose their drive after a little success, but those who fail deeply never take this for granted. They know how fragile it is, know how much it costs, and how quickly it can slip away. Failure teaches gratitude for every victory because you felt the sting of defeat. The greatest inventors, leaders, and dreamers of history all understood the value of failure. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before creating the light bulb. When asked how it felt to fail so often, he said, "I didn't fail. I just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset of a champion. They don't see failure as a final verdict. They see it as a necessary discovery process. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest athletes of all time, said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. I failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." Failure didn't stop him. It strengthened him. Every miss taught him how to shoot better. Every loss taught him how to win smarter. Failure is also the greatest filter of passion. When you fail, your desire gets tested. If you quit after your first setback, it means you were never truly committed. But if you keep going, even when failure hurts, it means your dream matters more than your pride. That's how you know you're serious. Passion without failure is just excitement. Passion that survives failure is conviction. Failure burns away fake motivation and leaves behind only what's real. Most people see failure as rejection, but it's actually redirection. Sometimes failure is life's way of steering you towards something better. Maybe that job you didn't get, that project that failed, or that opportunity that slipped away wasn't meant for you. Maybe it was preparing you for something greater. When you look back later, you'll realize that what you thought was a loss was actually a lesson in disguise. But to see that, you must stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start asking, oh, what is this trying to teach me? The moment you shift your perspective, failure becomes your greatest mentor. Failure also teaches perseverance. When you fail and choose to rise again, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your circumstances. That builds mental toughness. You stop fearing challenges because you know you've survived worse. Every failure you overcome becomes a layer of armor. You become unshakable, not because life gets easier, but because you get harder to break. Success tastes sweeter when you've earned it through struggle. People who have never failed can't appreciate what victory feels like. But those who have fallen and risen understand the true value of winning. In the journey towards success, failure will visit you many times. It will test your belief, your patience, and your endurance. But every failure carries purpose. Every setback builds something inside you that success never could. Success gives confidence. Failure gives wisdom. Success builds your reputation. Failure builds your character. You need both to grow. You can't skip the lessons of failure and expect to handle the weight of success. Failure is preparation. It shapes you into the kind of person who can sustain the success once it arrives. When you look at people who quit, it's rarely because they failed once. It's because they misinterpreted failure. They thought failure meant a stop. They thought it meant, oh, you're not good enough. But failure doesn't mean a no. What it means a not yet. It means there's something you still need to learn. If you can change your relationship with failure, you can change your entire life. You'll start seeing every mistake as a stepping stone instead of a setback. You'll stop fearing failure and start chasing growth. The key is to never waste a failure. Don't let pain pass without extracting wisdom from it. Reflect on what went wrong, adjust your approach, and move forward. That's how progress happens. Every time you fall and rise again, you become a better version of yourself. And eventually, the same failures that once hurt you become the foundation of your success. You'll look back and realize that your greatest teachers weren't your victories, they were your failures. Eric Thomas himself says, when you get to success, don't forget the struggle. Don't forget what it took, because it's the struggle that builds the strength. The failures that broke you were the same ones that built you. Every closed door made you hungrier. Every no pushed you closer to the right yes. Every fall taught you how to stand taller. Failure doesn't define you, it refines you. The truth is, you can't control failure. It will happen no matter how careful or prepared you are, but you can control your response. You can either let failure defeat you or let it develop you. The difference lies in your mindset. The person who fears failure will never grow, but the person who embraces it will never stop evolving. In the end, failure is not something to be ashamed of, it's something to be grateful for. It means you dared to try. It means you had the courage to take a step when others stood still. It means you believed in something enough to risk losing it. And that bravery is what creates greatness. So don't run from failure, face it. Don't hide from mistakes, learn from them. Don't let rejection stop you. Let it redirect. Failure brings you closer to mastery. Every fall is a chance to rise stronger. The more you fail, the more you grow, the more you grow, the more you grow, the more unstoppable you become. Because failure is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of a new chapter. It's not a loss, it's a lesson. And those who understand that truth will never see failure as defeat. They'll see it as destiny in disguise. The eighth keynote, oh, success is not owned, it's rented. And the rent is due every day, defines the very essence of sustained greatness. It means that success is not something you achieve once and then sit back and enjoy forever. It's not a trophy you win and keep on your shelf for life. It's a daily commitment, a constant grind, a choice you make over and over again to stay disciplined, hungry, and focused. The moment you think you've made it, you start to lose it. Because success doesn't belong to anyone permanently. It belongs to those who continue to earn it every single day. Every day you wake up, the rent is due in your effort, in your attitude, in your discipline. You can't rely on yesterday's work to bring you tomorrow's result. Yesterday's grind bought you today's opportunity, but what you do today will decide where you'll be tomorrow. Too many people work hard to reach the top. And once they get there, they stop doing what got them there. They lose that hunger, that edge, that fire. But the truth is, staying successful is harder than becoming successful. Because when you start from nothing, you have nothing to lose. But when you've achieved something, you have everything to protect. And that requires even more focus and consistency. Success is not a one-time payment. It's a lifetime subscription. You can't just work hard for a few months and expect permanent results. You can't go to the gym for a year and expect to stay fit forever. You can't build a business and then stop improving and expect it to keep growing. Life doesn't work that way. The rent keeps coming due, whether you're ready or not. The moment you stop paying it in effort, in discipline, and persistence, you start losing everything you built. The rent for success isn't paid with money. It's paid with time, energy, focus, and sacrifice. Every morning you wake up, you have a choice to pay the rent or to fall behind. People often confuse success with comfort, but they're not the same thing. Comfort is the enemy of success. The minute you get comfortable, you stop pushing yourself. You stop improving. You start coasting. And in this world, if you're coasting, you're actually sliding backward. The competition doesn't stop. The world doesn't stop. Someone, somewhere, is working harder than you, preparing to take your place. That's why you must wake up every day with the mindset that success is rented, not owned. You must earn it again and again through your actions. Think about athletes. A champion doesn't stop training after winning one title. They train harder because they know that everyone is coming for their spot. When Michael Jordan won his first championship, he didn't slow down. He got even more intense. He understood that greatness isn't something you achieve once. It's something you sustain through relentless effort. The same goes for business, for relationships, for personal growth. Anything worth having requires constant maintenance. The rent never stops being due. Eric Thomas says, you can't sleep when you're number one, because success attracts competition. It attracts challenges. It attracts pressure. The higher you climb, the more effort it takes to stay there. The air is thinner at the top because fewer people are willing to pay the price it takes to remain there. That's why so many people reach success and then fall. They thought the journey ended when they reached the peak, but that's actually where the real work begins. The rent at the top is higher, not lower. The responsibility, the discipline, the expectations, they all increase. This mindset applies to personal growth too. You might have overcome bad habits, built confidence, or achieved peace, but if you stop doing the things that got you there, if you stop reading, stop meditating, stop growing, you'll slowly slide back into old patterns. Growth is not a one-time event. It's a continuous process. Every day is a test. Every day is a chance to either move forward or slip backward. The rent for success must be paid daily, not occasionally. Paying the rent also means staying humble. Success can make people arrogant. It can make them believe they've outgrown the basics that built them. But the rent requires humility. It demands that you keep learning, keep improving, and keep showing gratitude. Because the moment you think you've mastered everything, life will humble you. The world rewards learners, not know-it-alls. The rent keeps you grounded because it reminds you that your position is never guaranteed. It's earned. Let's bring this idea to a real-life scenario. Imagine a farmer. He works hard to plant seeds, water them, and nurture them. Eventually, he reaps a harvest. But if he stops planting the next season, there will be nothing to harvest later. The soil doesn't care how hard he worked last year. He only responds to what he does today. Success works the same way. Yesterday's grind doesn't feed you forever. You have to keep sowing effort, keep tending your dreams, keep paying that rent. The harvest only grows for those who stay consistent. And yes, paying the rent every day can feel exhausting. There will be days when you don't feel like working, when your body and mind crave rest, when the results don't seem to show up. But that's when your commitment is tested. That's when you prove to yourself how badly you want it. The rent doesn't care how you feel. It still needs to be paid. The universe doesn't reward feelings. It rewards effort. If you can work through those days when you feel uninspired, when you're tired, when you're struggling, that's when you truly grow. Because anyone can work when they feel motivated, but only champions work when they don't. Paying the rent every day also means staying true to your purpose. Success can tempt you to take shortcuts, to chase trends, to compromise your values for faster results. But the rent for authentic success can't be paid with shortcuts. It's paid with integrity, consistency, and hard work. Shortcuts may give temporary results, but they don't last because they skip the rent. And when the bill comes due, the illusion collapses. Real success is built on a foundation of effort that can withstand time. It's important to understand that the rent doesn't get cheaper. As you grow, life will demand more of you. New levels come with new responsibilities, new expectations, and new challenges. But instead of fearing that, embrace it. It means you're evolving. It means you're being stretched to your full potential. Success isn't supposed to get easier. You're supposed to get stronger. Paying the rent every day strengthens your character. It makes you resilient, disciplined, and unshakable. The rent is also doing your mindset. You must renew your belief every morning. You must remind yourself why you started, what you're fighting for, and who you're becoming. Because the mind gets tired, doubt creeps in. Fear whispers lies. But paying the rent mentally means feeding your mind with positivity, determination, and focus. It means choosing faith over fear, perseverance over excuses, action over comfort. When you accept that success is rented, not owned, you stop chasing perfection and see progress. You realize that every day matters. You understand that greatness is built in small daily deposits, not in one-time efforts. Each workout, each study session, each moment of discipline is like paying your rent. Some days the payment feels small, other days it feels heavy. But as long as you keep paying, you keep growing. And one day when people look at you and call you successful, you'll know the truth. They're seeing the result of countless days of rent payments. And remember this, the rent doesn't just apply to professional success. It applies to relationships, to health, to peace, to everything you value. If you want love, you must pay the rent through kindness, communication, and effort every day. If you want help, you must pay the rent through exercise, discipline, and good choices. If you want happiness, you must pay the rent through gratitude, forgiveness, and balance. Nothing stays good unless you keep working to maintain it. At the end of the day, this keynote is not just about success. It's about mindset. It's about embracing the grind, understanding that consistency beats intent, and realizing that you never arrive. You just keep evolving. Every day you have to wake up and pay the rent with your best effort. It's not about being perfect, it's about showing up. It's not about never falling, it's about getting back up. Because success is rented, not owned. And the rent will always be due tomorrow morning. So don't fear the rent. Respect it. Pay it with pride, with passion, and with persistence. Because every time you do, you're not just maintaining success, you're becoming someone who deserves it. And when you live with that mindset, no matter how high you go, you'll never fall. Because your success won't be built on moments. It'll be built on habits, and habits never expire. When all is said and done, when the lights go off and the noise fades away, what truly defines you is not how loud your victories were, but how hard you fought when no one was watching. The message of a hard work pays off is not just a slogan. It's a truth carved into the foundation of every success story the world has ever seen. It's a reminder that greatness doesn't come from comfort, that progress doesn't happen by accident, and that the life you dream of is not waiting for luck. It's waiting for your relentless commitment. Every dream, every goal, every achievement begins with effort, but it is completed by consistency, sacrifice, and discipline. The road to success is long, uneven, and often lonely. There will be days when you feel invisible, when the results seem miles away, when every step feels heavier than the last. You will question yourself. You will face doubt. You will face pain. But if you keep walking, if you keep pushing, if you keep giving your best even when it hurts, that's when the magic happens. Because the truth is, growth doesn't happen in comfort, it happens in challenge. Diamonds are not formed in soft soil. They are formed under pressure. And you too are being shaped by the weight of your journey. Every setback, every rejection, every long night is polishing you for your breakthrough. The beauty of hard work is that it never betrays you. You may not always see the results immediately, but they are building quietly, waiting for their moment to reveal themselves. Hard work is an investment in yourself that always yields a return, even if it comes in ways you didn't expect. Sometimes it doesn't just give you success, it gives you strength. It gives you character. It gives you resilience. And those things are worth more than anything money can buy. Because success can be temporary, but who you become through the process, that's permanent. Eric Thomas has often said that when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, that's when you'll be successful. That's what hard work pays off really means. It's not just about putting in time, it's about putting in your heart, your soul, your belief, your everything. It's about waking up every day and saying, I may not be where I want to be yet, but I'm closer than I was yesterday. It's about refusing to let excuses win. It's about taking full responsibility for your destiny, no matter how unfair life gets, because life will test you. It will push you to the edge, but that edge is where champions are made. The path to success is not glamorous, it's gritty, it's filled with sweat, tears, sleepless nights, and moments of doubt. But if you can endure the struggle, if you can trust the process, the reward will be greater than anything you've imagined. You see, hard work doesn't just get you what you want, it makes you appreciate what you have. It teaches you patience, it teaches you gratitude. When you finally achieve what you've been fighting for, it will mean something because you earned it. That feeling, the satisfaction of knowing you built something from the ground up with your own two hands, something no shortcut can ever give you. The world is full of people who want success, but very few are willing to do what it takes to earn it. Everyone wants the glory, but not everyone is willing to go through the grind. But here's the truth. The grind is the glory. The struggle is where you find your strength. Every failure teaches you something. Every fall builds your endurance. So every no makes your next yes like even more powerful. The people who win are not the ones who never fail. They're the ones who never quit. They understand that success isn't given, it's earned. It's rented. It's rented, and the rent is due every single day. Hard work pays off not just because it helps you achieve, but because it changes who you are on the inside. It teaches you to stay focused when distractions come. It teaches you to stay humble when you succeed. It teaches you to respect the process, to honor the grind, and to never forget where you started. It builds a fire inside you that can't be extinguished by failure or fear. When you've worked hard for something, you protect it, you value it, you respect it, and most importantly, you become someone who others can look up to. Your journey becomes a testimony, a living example that effort, faith, and perseverance can rewrite any story. You don't have to be the smartest, the fastest, or the most talented. You just have to be the most consistent. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. You can't control luck. You can't control timing. But you can always control your effort. You can always control your attitude. You can always decide how much heart you put in it every single day. And that's what makes all the difference. The people who rise are the ones who refuse to settle. The ones who show up again and again, even after the world counts them out. And let's be honest, hard work can be lonely. It can be thankless. There will be moments when it feels like no one notices the effort you're putting in. But that's the thing. Hard work doesn't seek validation. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't demand attention. It works quietly, and one day it speaks so loud that no one can ignore it. The day you succeed, people will call you lucky. They'll see the glory, but never the grind. But you'll know the truth. You paid the price. You earned every bit of it. Success is a journey, not a destination. There's no finish line because true success is not about reaching a point. It's about becoming the kind of person who never stops growing, who never stops striving, who never stops paying the rent of effort. Each milestone you reach is just a reminder of how far you've come and how much more you're capable of. When you look back on your journey, you'll see that the moments that felt the hardest were actually the ones that shaped you the most. Hard work also pays off in ways beyond material success. It gives you peace of mind, it gives you confidence, it gives you pride. When you know you've done your best, when you know you've given everything you had, there's no regret. You can rest knowing that you didn't quit, that you didn't take shortcuts, that you stood tall until you stood tall in the face of challenges. That peace, that inner satisfaction is priceless. It's something only those who truly work for their dreams will ever understand. And even if things don't go exactly as planned, even if your dream takes longer to come true than you expected, the journey itself will make you richer than any outcome ever could. Because in chasing your dream, you discover your strength. You discover your resilience. You discover who you are. The lessons you learn, the people you meet, the person you become, those are the real rewards of hard work. So when you hear hard work pays off, don't just think about the end result. Think about the transformation. Think about how each day of effort is building you, preparing you, strengthening you. Think about how every challenge you overcome is proof that you're capable of more than you ever imagined. And know that as long as you keep showing up, as long as you keep giving your best, success will eventually have no choice but to meet you. The truth is, success doesn't come to the lucky. It comes to the relentless. It comes to the relentless who refuse to stop. To the ones who get up no matter how many times they fall. To the ones who are willing to pay the rent every single day. Hard work is not a punishment. It's a privilege. It means you still have the chance to change your life. It means you're still in the game. So as this message comes to a close, remember this. No dream is too big. No goal is too far. No obstacle is too strong if your work ethic is stronger. Don't wait for motivation. Create it. Don't wait for opportunity. Earn it. Don't hope for success. Build it. Every single day, pay your rent with effort, passion, and discipline. Because one day when you look back, you realize that every early morning, every late night, every sacrifice, it all added up. It all mattered. It all paid off. And when that moment comes, when you finally stand at the top of your mountain, when you finally hold your dream in your hands, you'll smile knowing the truth. You didn't just achieve success. You became success. You didn't just reach the goal. You became the kind of person who could. And that right there is the ultimate reward. Because hard work always pays off.